We are live streaming. We're in the building with my good friend, my homie, Collin Tovar. I think I'm the only one who says it that way. What's up, Collin?
What up, man? I was just telling Carlos, I love the accent. It makes me sound more exotic, more professional, Tovar.
Tovar, bro. You know you're legit when you got that kind of name in the back. So what we're going to be talking today, and correct me if I'm wrong, is some virality stuff, how to go viral, how to rank, how to do some really cool things. I don't know if it's organically only or with paid ads. We're all here to learn. Just so you guys know, I've been working with Collin, following him for a little bit of time. He also lives in Arizona, so it's really cool. I'll eventually link up with him. And he's kicking ass. He's got some really high level clients, some 8-figure guys, some 7-figure guys, and they trust him for a reason. It's not a mistake that he's the go-to guy for this stuff. He's been, I think, maybe a little bit more behind the radar, and he's starting to become in front of the radar now. So we're very fortunate to have him here so we can learn from him, get all the good stuff. And yeah, man, I'm just really excited to have you here to help us out and train us.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, appreciate the opportunity too, brother. Just coming in front of your audience of copywriters. It's kind of the best of both worlds. I know the video editing side and how to tell a story on social media, but to come on the strategy side where the context is good for clients and all of that stuff as well, man, that's something that I've been wanting to jump into the world too. So I'm excited to merge the two, man.
Let's go, man. And so we may also have some folks that we're definitely going to have copywriters on here. We may have some folks who are not copywriters. They may hire copywriters. They're offer owners, etc. So this is going to be beneficial for both types of people. And this is a training. So this is exciting. He's going to share a screen just a second, walk us through some cool slides. And I'm going to be taking notes. When you guys see me on my phone, it's for 2 reasons. Reason 1 is I want to see if you guys are commenting. I'll make sure I transfer those comments to Collin so he can answer them. Show some love, show some support, give us some likes and stuff to make sure we know you like this stuff. And then the second reason is I'm going to be taking my own notes. So I'm just going ahead and opening up, you can't see, but I'm opening up notes on my phone. And so when you see me looking down, I'm not ignoring you, Collin. I'm just taking notes on everything you say. So I recommend you guys do that too. Before we get started, I'll tell you just another reason why. I've kind of discovered there's a couple ways of learning. You've got active learning, and then you have passive learning. What I used to do when I wasn't actually learning anything is I would do passive learning. So I would listen to podcasts, listen to trainings. It wouldn't matter who was on there. It could be a guy as high level as Collin or a total newbie. I would just listen to it, but then nothing would actually stick. I wouldn't absorb a lot of this stuff, and then I wouldn't even implement it. I'd maybe implement a fraction of what it was because I wasn't actively listening, as opposed to actively listening, actively learning, where I take notes. I'm not the best note taker in the world, but when he says something that's going to spark some idea, I make sure I write it down. And so I'd suggest that you guys do the same thing if you're, interested in actually applying this stuff. So without further ado, Collin, if you could maybe just share your screen and let's rock and roll. I'm going to mute my self and also turn off my video just so all the focus is on you and everything. So let's go.
Brother, appreciate it, man. Let's get it rocking and rolling. All righty, y'all. Appreciate y'all being here to learn some social media stuff. I don't know who here has experience with social media, how much experience you have on social media. So this is going to be more of a holistic approach to social media. Although at the very end, I will go into some nitty-gritty how-tos on how to create certain content. If you know video a little bit, I'll share some tools with you. So video editing and content editing, like carousels and things like that, are easy and cheap to make. So you can start getting at least 1 post per day on social media, because that's kind of the goal. There's over 100 million posts per day on Instagram. And so in order to get ahead, we need to day trade attention, as Gary Vaynerchuk likes to call it. So you need to be getting out in front of your ideal audience as much as possible. And the way that is A, through SEO and keywords, and 2 is through viral post types. So we're going to go through both of those today. Hope you guys are excited. How many of you guys are on social media? I'm just out of curiosity. Who all is on social media? Okay, I'm seeing a couple here, a couple people on social media. Awesome. Okay. Seeing a couple of newbies as well. Okay. I know we're live streaming across other different platforms on YouTube and Facebook as well. So whether you're a newbie or expert on social media or aspiring expert, all 3 can benefit from the training today. So let's go ahead and get into Virality 101, social media content strategy that ranks and sells. There's people who tell you out there how to rank and get followers and likes, which is good. We all love followers and likes, but if it doesn't sell, then what's really the point of getting a bunch of followers and likes, right? So the whole purpose is to convert your audience. And with some of you being copywriters, I know you get the value of that as well. So if you haven't seen this before, we're going to start pretty light on the scale of learning. This is called the Gartner Hype Cycle. And what the Gartner is, it's a company that takes a bunch of different data points. They use artificial intelligence and real people to scour the internet to look at the sentiment analysis and also the progression of how industries scale on their adoption towards mass adoption. So you can see here, this is the time it takes for things to get adopted. And here's the expectations, right? So you'll see many different things on this. I'll give a simple example to kind of break down the high level of what a hype cycle is. The telephone went through multiple hype cycles. It had one innovation trigger where it had early adopters, or the technology might have not worked as well, right? But then it started gaining a lot of traction. Friends told their friends it works really well. Then there's a peak of inflated expectations, where the peak of mass adoption happened in that stage. So it goes through what's called a trough of disillusionment, where people lose their expectations of the phone, the buttons, kind of stick together. The service networks may not work in their favorite camping area, right? Or this is like way back then. So the trough of disillusionment might have been the flip phone breaks or whatever, the screw is finicky. Right. So that's the trough of disillusionment. It doesn't work the way they expected it to. Then you have the slope of enlightenment and the plateau of productivity before there's another innovation trigger where the iPhone comes out. Then the cell phone, the telephone, has a whole new hype cycle of innovation triggers, slope of enlightenment, plateau of productivity. There's a bunch of tongue twisters in here. And so they all go through their own mass adoption cycles, right? So for us specifically, we're going to be focusing on the content marketing industries. This is just the digital marketing trends for 2021. So I circled this out to make it a little bit easier to understand where content marketing is heading. So right now, if you look at the visual search for marketing, this is about 2021, and it'll take roughly, if it's a blue dot, it'll take roughly 2 to 5 years for it to get through the entire cycle here, from innovation trigger to plateau of productivity. And who knows when the next 2 to 5 years, when it jumps on a new hype cycle, it's not like it just automatically restarts a new hype cycle every 2 to 5 years. It's just taken for every 2 to 5 years. They take this every year and see how this is moving. Sometimes it'll move faster, sometimes it'll move slower. So right now we're at the visual search for marketing. That was back in 2021. So now it might be in the trough of disillusionment. It's 2023 now, right? So we might be getting here for the visual search for marketing. And what that means is keywords and hashtags and things like that, where people are searching visually for what you have. Now, we used to have blogs, and blogs have images, yes, and there's image search for sure on Google. But since Google owns YouTube now, YouTube is now the second largest search engine in the world, right behind Google. And so people are actually searching for recipes and how-tos on YouTube as well as TikTok. That's mainly what it's for, like cooking, what you usually see on TV, right? But more and more people are searching for how to grow on social media, how to do proper stretches, right? How to do a certain workout or have a certain nutrition diet. All this stuff that high ticket coaches are getting into, people are searching for YouTube now and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook rather than just reading a blog, because people would rather get information visually. And so visual search for marketing is using keywords in your content, whether it's verbally on your thumbnail, in the caption, in your hashtags, wherever, so that you can index and the robot.text bots can actually read your text in your video and listen to what your video is saying, and they'll actually rank it accordingly. So songs and dances aren't built just for virality, but the future is value driven. What's the context of your social media post, not just viral stuff. Now, the second area here is influencer and advocacy marketing. So the influencer, even an employee can be an influencer. You'll see employee advocacy. That's why that's here. Also has an audience that trusts their opinion, right? So influencer marketing actually usually gets average of 6x ROI, which if you're in advertising is a really good ROAS. And so influencers already have that know, like, and trust built versus Facebook advertising that's getting more and more expensive and more saturated. It doesn't build that know, like, and trust as much. It's really hard to do that with an ad. That's more of an interruption in their feed. But when an influencer posts, they already have that know, like, and trust. And so your product converts way more there, whether it's a physical product like an e-commerce product, or if it's an e-course or anything of that nature. It's influencer and advocacy marketing. Then there's the last one here of social analytics, which is probably close to getting to its new innovation trigger because 2 years ago is on its plateau of productivity. This is where we can start to see the age, gender, shares, saves. If you've been watching Instagram and the backend analytics for the last 2 to 3 years, they've been adding these features that you can see how many people share and save your content. And there's also things that are coming out like dark social, like who's visiting my website and which social media platform are they coming from? Or was it shared via SMS or an Instagram DM, or did they come from YouTube? So that type of social analytics where we don't need to set up high level UTMs and things like that, that's coming on a natural basis. We can just see that automatically where traffic is coming from. So we can start to quantify social media and the traffic that's coming from it, which is really, really cool. So moving into influencer marketing and employee advocacy, just to give you some industry stats here, the influencer marketing industry is worth $15 billion, and that's up from just $6.5 billion in 2020. The NFL is 15 billion, by the way, to give you a market size to like the entire NFL merch, what they sell in advertising space. The NFL as a whole makes 15 billion. So influencer marketing as a whole is the same size as the NFL, which is pretty wild because NFL has been around for a while. Influencer marketing, not so much. Social media has made it way bigger. The original influencer marketing would have been like CoverGirl and those makeup commercials. They brought in influencers that came on for that. More recently, Kevin Hart is like the spokesperson for Chase Bank, JP Morgan, right? So that's examples of influencer marketing in traditional TV and billboard advertising, but social media has obviously way expanded on that, and it's still in its baby stages. So super exciting. On average, businesses earn $5.20 per dollar. So earlier I said 6x ROI. We're marketers, right? We're going to expand it just a little bit and round up, even if it was 0.2. So businesses earn about $5.20 for every dollar spent on influencer marketing. 77% of consumers are more likely to purchase after hearing from someone that they trust. That goes with or without influencer marketing, but pretty good stat there. Influencer marketing is huge. So whether you're looking to start on your own brand and work with other copywriters or other coaches that are similar in your industry, or you're going to be an influencer for somebody else's product, promoting someone else's product that resonates with you as a person, it'll get a 77% higher conversion rate than traditional advertising because that know, like, and trust is already built there. And just some other stats here on employee advocacy. So social media proposes a massive opportunity. Lots of users, over half the world is actually on social media in whole, right? And more of the world is getting access to internet, such as Africa and third world countries are getting more and more access to internet. So there's only going to be more and more users that get onto social media. It's very cheap, it's easy to use, it's intuitive. I always like to think of social media as the new website. Websites cost thousands of dollars to build versus if somebody wants to start a business, they don't have to pay thousands of dollars to figure out how to build a funnel or things like that anymore. Social media really is a funnel in and of itself. You have DMs, which act as emails and SMSs. So you really have communication, and your visual expression of who you are is your social media. You can have pinned posts, you can have highlighted stories, anything that you would put on a funnel or a website can be done on social media, and it's your traffic source all in one. So I think social media is unique in and of itself. And all of the platforms are continually growing year over year. We have 2.3 billion people on YouTube. Most of them, 90% of them are daily active users. Same with Instagram, has way more now. This is back in 2021, but it has a little bit over 1.3 billion. And Meta as a whole has over half the world on it, just in general. Who knows about the crossover, about if it's 4 billion, how many of those 4 billion are on all platforms, that type of thing. But I'd say roughly half the world, if not 30% of the world, is on social media. So huge opportunity there to reach out to your ideal market. You can see some stats here on what types of users use Facebook and Instagram. So 73% of college-educated internet users are on Facebook. That's not 70% of users on Facebook are college-educated. It's 70% of all college-educated internet users are on Facebook. Pretty wild. I mean, that's 3/4 of the entire college-educated world that uses the internet. So pretty big. And 70% of them are earning more than 75K per year. So they have money, which is awesome. The average Facebook user spends 33 minutes per day on the platform. So it's a lot when you think about it. 33 minutes of a day is a lot to be spending on a platform, but there's so much content that you need to figure out how to stand out. So that's what we'll be teaching you in a little bit with the post types. 33% of Facebook newsfeed algorithm shows posts from groups and pages. So this is when I was back doing Facebook groups. I don't know how much the stat has changed. This is about 2 years ago. I prefer Instagram as my main platform, so we'll go into that one next. If you're going to pick one platform to go on, I would say Instagram is my favorite. Facebook would be third for high ticket coaches specifically. So Instagram has 60% of the users are 18 to 34 years old, usually the target market what we're looking for high ticket programs. 83% of them also use Facebook. So you can do a lot of cross-platform. If you make a video on Instagram, you can also do a Facebook reel, get the cross-platform there with the same effort that you're putting into one piece of content. 55% are also on Twitter. So you can easily post a carousel you make for Instagram onto Twitter, and you can maximize your reach. It's really not that hard to schedule if you have a regular, scheduler like Hootsuite or Sprout Social or something to post on all platforms. You just have to make the content once and you maximize the reach. So might as well get on other platforms as well. 59% of all US adults use Instagram daily. So huge to see that it's not just monthly active users anymore, it's also daily active users, and 1/4 of the, or 3/4 of the platform almost use the platform daily. So that's huge. And 91% of IG active users watch videos weekly. So videos are huge. We want to get into the video space for sure. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Went over that earlier. 71% of the internet users, US internet users, 26 to 35 use YouTube. Again, that's the same as the Facebook stat. 71% of all US internet users who are 26 to 35 use YouTube. So that's one third of the world right there, which is wild, or 3/4 of the world, my apologies. 51% of YouTube users use the platform daily, which is just wild. So if you use YouTube yourself, I'm personally a YouTube user, I'm within this 51%. I use the platform daily. I learn from it. I learn a lot of social media stuff. It's where I get my most relevant, up-to-date information, aside from Twitter. YouTube is a great way to consume valuable information. You'll see later that Instagram is more of a short form, so you're not going to get a ton of value on Instagram. It's hard to pack a lot of value into 1 minute. So that's where it's a lot of like wide and shallow type of stuff. YouTube is where you can go narrow and deep. That's where you get to increase the lifetime value of your clients. Actually, we get a lot more high ticket clients off of YouTube than we do off of Instagram. Whereas Instagram is more so the low ticket stuff, the SLOs, self-liquidating offers, which usually go with ads. But if it's organic, then you're going to sell roughly $47 products on social media, on Instagram. So YouTube is really, really good for high ticket, increasing the LTV, the lifetime value of clients, and the watch time that they spend with you as well. TikTok, which is really good for ecom, not as good for high ticket coaches, but I want to put it in here anyways, because it's a good platform to still expand on and build an audience on. If you think about social media like real estate, you want to get the downtown area. So if you're in a popular space like make money online or social media growth, that's still very popular. If there's like saturated markets, versus something that like, what was Frank? I was listening to something by Frank Kern the other day, and he made something about like making your parrot talk. That was one of his first courses that he sold. That's pretty niche, so that's not going to be saturated. But if you're in a saturated market, you're going to be in the downtown spot. So where Carlos and I live in Phoenix, downtown Phoenix is a very prime real estate spot. Now, 40, 50 years ago, if you bought a house down there, you're looking pretty now. Right. So this is moving a lot faster. This isn't going to be 40 years. You're going to be looking pretty in 40 years. This is more of like a 5 to 10 year curve where you need to build your equity, your brand equity on the downtown area in your niche, because it's only going to get more and more saturated. So you need to start now and start ranking. Like if you put a post with a keyword out, the algorithm will recognize that your account equals this keyword. You're ranking it in the algorithm. You're time-stamping your account. So that's kind of the goal with social media, is thinking about it like real estate, and you're getting in early if you start now. You don't need to think about getting a lot of views or putting a lot of time and effort into it. All you need is a very simple post. It doesn't need to take a lot of time to edit. Again, I'll show you later. Very simple things. It'll take you less than an hour to edit, less than 15 minutes to write a caption really quick with a couple of keywords. Most of you are copywriters, so you know how to do SEO and keyword research, and then just post it up. That way you can just start ranking and getting some consistency in there. So, and we can see TikTok has over 1 billion daily active users. It's one of the most active platforms, actually. That's why I like it. It's extremely, people are using it a lot. And as far as how much time people spend on the platform on TikTok versus other platforms, it's like double the amount of time. Facebook has 33. The average TikTok user uses about 45 to an hour. So what is organic marketing and why is it so important? This is specifically more so social media. When I made this presentation, it was for social media and SEO, like how we were taking transcriptions from YouTube videos and posting them as blogs. But again, that was 2 years ago. This is something that I revamped to be mostly for social media because it works the same. You're getting the SEO on social media, which is basically free traffic. Websites get free traffic via ranking blogs, and you get to get intent-based search with people searching for exactly what they want and need, and they're finding your blog versus an ad, which is kind of an interruption in their feed. This is something that they search for. It's their idea to look for. And so we get that same power on social media. And that's not just somebody searching something in the search box anymore. The way the content actually gets recommended to you, no one's just scrolling through Google feed, looking through searches. They don't do that. They search for something and they find it very specifically. Social media, they're just scrolling in their home feed. And if most of you don't know, the home feed is now the explore page. You don't need the little search icon on Instagram to have the explore page. The home feed, where your regular home feed is, where you're scrolling, it's not just people you follow anymore. You'll see the little follow button on there and then if you look on the very, very bottom in the fine print, it says this content was recommended to you because you engage with similar content to this. And so the way the AI bots on Instagram are able to tell what that content is A, who's liking it and who's commenting on it. This algorithm update just came out publicly 3 months ago. I've known about this for about a year because it's all SEO based, right? They're going to recommend things that people really like to engage with. So they're going to view other user behavior, and they're going to look at the keywords that the content is about, the hashtags that the content is about. And with over 100 million posts per day, they have to sift the content somehow to make sure they can keep the users on the platform. And so they're going to try to rank the most relevant content to the most relevant users that they think is going to engage with it. So one way, because you can't really control who engages with your account unless you have an engagement group with a bunch of friends and local coaches. That's one way to drum up some business, is by hacking the algorithm, by getting engagement groups with similar accounts. But if you don't have that and you're just starting out, keywords is a great way. It's going to take longer with keywords, but it's a great way to kind of start ranking for who you actually are in the algorithm. You're making your stamp in the world for who you are. So keywords is a great way to do that. We're going to do some keyword research in a little bit as well, and teach you guys how to make pillars and topic clusters and make it all relevant so it all works together in one interlinking, beautiful map.
Let's go.
Let's go. Give me some thumbs up in the chat. Let's freaking go.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's the bridge between Google and social media. It's an SEO model very similar to Google's. So if you've done SEO on Google, you can easily do it on social media as well. And I went through the finding organically versus advertised too. So again, here, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Organic content takes time to rank overall, but if you post consistently, that's all you really need. Social media ensures that people get nurtured before they book a call. And so a lot of people, you'll see if they see an ad, usually they go back to your social media before booking a call. They need to build that know, like, and trust. And sometimes a funnel isn't enough. You can have testimonials on your funnel and you can have the sexiest landing page, but if you don't have a social media account to build that credible authority, what I call, we all know the know, like, and trust, right? So the know would be the value part. The like would be the hype-based content. How are you entertaining them? How are you building that like factor with them, right? Usually those are the viral dances, the super wide and shallow stuff, right? That's the like. The know would be the nitty gritty micro tips, the value-based content that establishes you and says, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. So I've been entertained. I know that this person knows what they're talking about. And now we have the trust, which is a combination of know and like, but also testimonials. Testimonials build a lot of trust. Personal stories build a lot of trust. So that's kind of how you get the know, like, and trust in social media content specifically. So real quick training. I promise we'll get to the fun stuff where we start looking at viral post types and everything. I know this has been kind of dense with the Gartner hype cycle and content strategy and keyword research and SEO. This is a very dense training for the beginners out there, or even some intermediate people.
Let me just jump in for 2 seconds, actually,
Please.
because we've got some viewers. I think we had like maybe 10 or so viewers between a few of the little things. And one of the things I just wanted to say is a lot of the stuff you're sharing is like the backbone. So it's actually really cool that you're sharing this stuff, because like without really understanding why what you're about to show us works, it's like it's not as valuable. But because you showed all of these cool stats and all this cool stuff, like it makes this just easier to understand. So I'm taking notes, man, and I just wanted to let you know we got some viewers, and this is exciting stuff. So keep on rocking.
Sweet. Stoked, man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Awesome. So let's get into the topic cluster research. If y'all don't know what topic clusters are, like I said, most copywriters will know what topic clusters are and SEO research and keywords. But for those who aren't copywriters or just high ticket coaches looking to get into the space, put a little visual in here so it's easier to understand. Finally, a slide with pictures, right? The last picture we showed was of the Gartner hype cycle. So this one's a nice little fun picture. It shows the pillar in the center, which is, it's usually called the hub and spokes, or the book and chapters. So this would be the book. These are the chapters. So what is your main pillar of your brand? Usually brands have about 3 pillars. So if I were to say that I'm a social media expert, my pillars could be multiple different things. It could be Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, if I wanted to focus on the wide and shallow cross-platform strategy. Or I can be an Instagram expert, and I can go on Instagram algorithm updates, Instagram, news and tips, which could go in algorithm updates. My second pillar in Instagram could be marketing growth hacks. Then the third one could be strategy. So marketing is more so the keyword research. Strategy would be the holistic content calendar, how posts fit into post types and things like that. So you can kind of start to see how you can create your pillars and how you can create subclusters within each one of those pillars. So if you think about it, like you're writing a book, what are the 3 main things? Usually copywriters look at like the 3 pillars of an offer. So what are the 3 pillars of your offer? What are the 3 phases? If you have a 90-day program, for instance, pillar 1 would be the first 90 days. Pillar 2 would be day 30 to day 60. And pillar 3 would be day 60 to day 90. Usually you can create content and subclusters around those 3 major pillars of what makes you, you. So I suggest you have 3. Some people go up to 5. Some people only have 1, and they create a bunch of subclusters under 1. 3 is the best that I found, because you get a little bit of variety, and you have multiple areas you can kind of create revenue in as well. So that's how the pillar content works. So we have the short keywords, which are usually high volume but low quality. And so a short keyword would be something like sales or copywriting or Instagram, right? 1 word keywords is usually what I look for short. Usually it's 1 to 3 max is actually the technical way to look at a short keyword, is 3 words max. And that's usually what we look at as the maximum amount of volume, like hundreds of thousands of searches, but very low quality. Because if someone's just typing in sales on Google, what's going to come up? For very general information. That's not going to give you a lot of blogs. It's just going to give you some sales page or some home page of a website, right? Because that's the higher level bird's eye view. It's very informational intent. Now, the longer keywords are lower volume, but they have high quality. They're very high buyer intent, such as how to grow on social media for high ticket coaches. Is a very long tail keyword that probably gets 50 searches a month. Not a lot, but 20% of those people are really high quality, and it's less saturated. So you're getting a less saturated market. So although you're not getting as many views, that's why I try to focus on social media is usually looked at as like, how viral can I go? How many views can I get? Those views don't matter because they're probably high volume and low search quality. Who cares about casting a wide net? If you can cast a smaller net that's more targeted, like a sniped approach, then you get way better results. I've seen accounts with less than 1,000 followers making $100,000 per month, believe it or not. It's possible. You don't need a lot of followers on social media. Those are vanity metrics. So you want to try to rank more so for the longer keywords first, until you can go to the short keywords later. When you're massive, right? When you're GAFA or whatever, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple. So slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Like I said earlier, you want to create a content flywheel and all that fun stuff. Most of you guys probably know this as well with the unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, most aware. Those are the 5 stages by, I don't know his name. Carlos, what's the name of that guy that created this?
That created which again?
Unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware.
Oh, is that Eugene Schwartz?
Eugene, thank you. It's like right on the
Let's
tip.
Go.
Eugene Schwartz, freaking legend, created the 5 stages of the customer journey. And so kind of to break those down, what social media is and how it can actually capture all of those people is one, it educates the unaware, usually with the high volume, low quality, just informational intent. It educates the unaware. So this is what the viral content is about. You're entertaining them. Usually you can do news and tips, just very light surface level stuff that'll entertain, inspire, motivate, things like that. That's what you're looking for the unaware people. Then the problem and solution aware people are more so where you start to get the hashtags and similar accounts. You're starting to target people who are problem and solution aware. So you're starting to target followers of similar accounts to yours, using keywords, using hashtags to rank in the algorithm more and more. And as you start to engage with more product aware and most aware people, these are the people who have already been following you for a while. You're nurturing them with content. You're increasing the LTV that they spend. So they might be a current client and they follow you on social media. They see a certain post, book a second call with you because they learn that you have this brand new offer and you establish yourself as a credible authority to show what you're talking about with this offer. So usually you'll see a lot of like pre-sales. We're launching a new product right now called Digital Entrepreneur. And that takes about 60 days to fully launch. We have to build the course and stuff. So while we're building the course, we're drumming up some interest with it with our influencers in our network, which are also some clients, some revenue share clients, and just some stories, just some posts that are about digital entrepreneur. How are we building this? So people can follow the journey. And now we have a bunch of people waiting for it. We have a bunch of people messaging us about it and saying, what is digital entrepreneur? How can I get in? Is it ready yet? So you're building this hype around it to the product aware and the most aware people who are like on it with your brand. So that's how those 5 stages work from Eugene Schwartz. Freaking legend. So let's go into the 4 steps here of an organic content marketing system. The first one is obviously we want to establish the know, like, and trust, which we talked about earlier with your ideal audience with informational and transactional based searches. So the way you do that is you define your 3 content pillars and identify a handful of keywords that go with each. So you can use tools like SEMrush to see the search volume of certain keywords to identify your content pillars and the subclusters that go under each one of those pillars. Then the second step here is to strategize and film a 10-minute video each week about one of your pillars. I like to batch these out. So if I'm releasing 4 long form videos, which a long form I consider anything above 10 minutes on YouTube, if I'm going to release 4 videos per month, I'll strategize all 4 and film them, all 4 of them in the first week. That way I know that I just give them to my editors. I have them edited, or if you were editing them, you want to batch edit them so you can just schedule them out and then do the same the next month. So you're always ahead of the content calendar. You're not trying to just film every week, right? It's best to batch stuff up. So strategize and film 10-minute video once per week or once per month, 4 per month. Then the way those break down is with a motivational video, a live training, or a podcast interview. Those are the 3 kind of styles of long form that I usually like to work for to keep it simple. So motivational video would be like mindset tips, or Iman Ghazi just came out with a video called Monk Mode. That's kind of like a trending word, right? Monk Mode. It's really just put do not disturb on your iPhone, right? It's just a sexy way to say monk mode. You just kind of like go into monk mode for a month or 2 and grind with your nose, nose to the grindstone, head down. So that would be what a motivational video is, just the inspirational mindset tips, like 10 side hustles to get whatever. It's that wide and shallow content. It's just meant to motivate and inspire. The second one is the live training. That's the nitty-gritty value. So this would be the hype-based content, the viral-based content. This is more of like the value-based content, establishes you as a credible authority and starts to bring people further down the funnel. So this is like tofu content, top of funnel content. This would be middle of funnel content. And podcast interviews are really the bottom of funnel content. That's the people that you'll see that will have the most amount of trust with your brand, because it's the most raw version of content. You don't need to edit a podcast interview. Those are people who have been probably following you for a while or know the industry, and they, usually you'll see higher level people listening to podcast interviews. you don't see too many mass market people listening to podcast interviews. They're just dipping their toes into the industry. So they like the 1 minute short videos, but the podcast interviews are like 45 minutes long and they're super dense. So that's usually where the bottom of the funnel people usually are, is people who are listening to your podcast and even joining your podcast. Your clients, either whether it's successful clients or prospective clients, can come on your podcast and be interviewed. It's actually one campaign that we put together that performed quite well for us for high ticket clients. We reached out to 2 Comma Club earners and we asked them to be on our podcast, and we closed roughly 10% of those people. It's still in the baby stages of the campaign, but it's looking pretty good so far with just outreaching to people to come onto our podcast, and that opens a conversation versus trying to get them on a sales call and selling them. You're interviewing them on the podcast, which is just a much better, warmer way to approach them. So that's step 2 there. You want to create them into 3 to 5 2 to 3 minute chapters. That equals a 10-minute video. If you look at it, like 5 2-minute chapters, where you're breaking it down into an outline. You have 5 bullet points that are 2 minutes each, roughly. So that's how you kind of break your topics and your pillars out. You can see you have chapters on YouTube. So that's the best way to rank it, is in chapters with subclusters and things like that. Step 3 is chop the video into 3 to 5 pieces of short form content. So you can do that into videos or carousels. Just chop down the idea. Again, if it's a 3 to 5, if you have 3 to 5 chapters per video, you can make 3 to 5 short form pieces of content with it. So you can either just chop the video, directly just timestamp it and just chop it out and add some captions if you like. I'll show you some tools later, but Descript is a great tool to make some short form content and add some captions to it. But you're basing it just on your outline. It's nice because it's pretty much already done here. If you look at a carousel on Instagram, there's 5 slides. Well, that's your 5 topics from your video. So you can easily chop down content into multiple micro content as well. Step 4 here would be to create captions with 2 to 3 semantically related keywords among matching hashtags. So, you want to be able to put your keywords, your semantically related keywords that are part of your pillars that are within your subclusters. So like how to grow on Instagram. Instagram would be the pillar keyword. How to grow on Instagram would be the subcluster keyword that video is about. And the micro content, the chapters or the topics within the video would be the semantically related ones. So how to grow on Instagram with outbound engagement, how to grow on Instagram with content marketing, how to grow on Instagram with keywords. That's what the video would break down into, 2-minute segments of each of those, and they're all keyword related. That way it's all holistically together in one interlinking, so it's relevant. The first tip here is to use 0, 16, or 30 hashtags. It's just a little pro tip I've learned along the way. I don't know why Instagram uses that. It's from thousands of posts scraped. Those usually get the most amount of engagement. So 0, 16, or 30 there. And then Thursdays and Fridays at 6 a.m. EST are usually the best times to post globally. All righty. So let's get into the content calendar overview. And I'm sure that Carlos here will have a replay link for you guys to be able to grab this asset as well. So, we'll get you guys the slides. We'll get you the replay link so you can have all this as well. He's giving the thumbs up, so looks like we're good to go there. So basically, with the content calendar, you really want to know what days, times, and what engagement data is happening with your posts. What hashtags did you use? What descriptions did you use? And so there's multiple different systems that I've used in the past. I've used Trello, ClickUp, Asana. I like G Sheet the best. It's just the easiest way to see everything from a bird's eye view and look at it holistically. So I know exactly what pillars I used for a piece of content. What was the video title? What category did it fit into? Again, this is the top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, and just straight right hook. So if you ever read Gary Vee's book, jab, 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 right hook. That's how you kind of generate the sales. It's by giving value, and then make sure you're evenly spacing out your outcome categories, right? So you can see it from a bird's eye view and strategize. I have 2 hype posts today. I have 1 value post today. That's kind of the purpose of tracking the outcome. The content type, which I'll show you here in a second, it's just the type of content that you're posting, whether it's a personal story, a training, a podcast interview, just so you know what type of content you're posting there. Then the post type is usually a carousel, just a text post, which would be for Facebook or Twitter. And that's why I have the platform here, in case you want it to be cross-platform. Then you have the video title. You can see you want 1 pillar cluster keyword in the video title. the keywords that you used in your video. So that's the semantically related keywords that you used in your hashtags, as well as your video tags, your description, maybe some in the title as well, in the thumbnail. These are just the keywords you use total. So they need to be semantically related or within the cluster, the topic cluster of whatever this pillar is. And the hook, I just gave a bunch of plug and play hooks in here that you can add. So avoid doing X and keyword industry, right? Just fill in the blanks there. These have been proven to perform pretty well. And then calls to action. You either want likes, comments, comment your thoughts below. If you want, the 2 steps, which is, if you want X, DM me X, or, follow me for part 2, if you have a part 2 coming, things like that. So it's episodic, like TV. So you can track all of that on a sheet. You can see which CTA performed better. If you had a comment CTA versus a like CTA or agree, disagree, which one performed better? And you can kind of start to isolate variables with certain keywords, certain hooks that you used. Like for instance, if you wanted to test a hook, you would just use the same CTA twice and just make this the variable, right? You isolate the rest of the stuff here and you make one variable. So you test how well that variable performed by tracking the views, likes, comments, shares, saves, average view time. Some posts give you the average view time, like YouTube will give you the average view time and Facebook will. Instagram unfortunately doesn't. I think TikTok gives you average view time. So you can start to see how that content performed if you start to isolate the variables here. So this just gives you the holistic view of a content strategy. You can see you can create your pillars in here. Put your pillar 1, 2, 3 and exactly what your clusters are. So you never run out of content ideas. You have one central source of truth for your content strategy here. And I actually use this for all of my clients. This is how I onboard all my high ticket clients, by the way. So this is your guys' tab for free. Carlos is a bud of mine. So I figured I'd just give you guys this. This is an insanely valuable thing. It helps me strategize out for new clients all the time when I'm coming up with new videos and everything.
This thing is gold. This thing is gold. I've already taken a shitload of notes and stuff about like when to post, what the times, the days, and all this stuff. And now you're giving me all this, bro. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. I'm all about the value. I'm all about the value because this stuff is hard, right? So I'm not here to like, pitch anything to you guys. I'm here to genuinely give value, right? The hard part is obviously editing it and having it be hands off. So that's where I come in. But I've been in the industry long enough where I'm just like, I could just give away the value and have you guys learn this. I'd rather have more people on social media and make the industry a bigger place and better. So, yep, I'm all about the value packed. So this will also have trending post types in here for each category. So you'll see the hype here, which is the outcome that you want. I put a percentage of the post types that you should have in here. 60% should be hype, 20% should be value. And just the post types that are in there. So you can click on any one of these. It'll take you, they're mostly on Instagram for these shorter forms. Some are on YouTube. But this is mostly for short form content here. So you'll be able to see value. What does a training post type look like? And these are based on like actual trending that gets lots of engagement. So that way you can actually reverse engineer all of these and start editing them and start getting viral posts right off the bat. So, and then the last one here is just the content design tips and tools. So this will give you, Amazon ring light. These aren't affiliate links or anything. They're just on here. So you can just purchase them. So this will help you get your mic set up, your podcast mic. I like the Shure mics. It's usually what all podcasters use. And then it also gives you like the cable cord and the box that you need in order to connect the microphone to your computer. The creator kit, it gives you like a little microphone and all that stuff. So this is just stuff to help you out, right? There's copywriter tools in here, ChatGPT, obviously, emoji keyboard. This is where you can find all the trends and everything to find trending topics and trending content types and things like that. Video editing tips, plenty of SOPs in here. So yeah, use this at your will. I know it's kind of like information overload at some points, but I just wanted to pack it with value for you guys. This is a gift that can continue giving to you guys.
Real quick, so can people, I know they're going to ask me for the replay most likely, and it's going to be available and stuff, but are you like, can they get this from you if they hit you up or something?
Yeah, that was kind of like my CTA. Just DM me if you want this for free, because there's no other way. I can put this in the chat and Carlos can give it out, but the best way is just to DM it. We can start a conversation if you need more help like that. But yeah, I'll DM you that link. That way you can just copy and paste it and use it on your own.
Perfect. Yeah, guys, make sure you DM him, Collin Tovar, and make sure you get this. I'm obviously going to DM you, so I'm going to want this, but don't DM me, DM him.
Got you, bro. Got you. And I realized that I've been going on for 45 minutes here. I could easily spend another 15 minutes going through these post types, but it would be pretty redundant if you guys get the slides anyways. It pretty much goes over the same stuff that's in the content strategy anyways, and how to edit them, just visual examples of the trust posts and things like that. What a lead generation story should look like, how you tell the story, and then send them to either a link or DM me X. And there's videos in here that show you how to create them as well, and the editing tools and stuff like that I promised earlier. So if you guys want the obviously replay, hit up Carlos for the Zoom replay and all of that. If you want these slides, I'll go and send you the slideshow as well as this content strategy asset, which is in the slides themselves. So just go ahead and DM me. I guess I probably should have put a CTA slide on here at Collin Tovar.
Yeah. So what I'm doing, guys, is I think I may have tagged you, I may not have. But yeah, hit him up, Collin Tovar. Yeah, I think I did. So I just tagged you on the Facebook one. But guys, if you're interested in this, look him up. Maybe if you can spell, oh, you do, you have it on Instagram too. So maybe if you can make that text a little bit bigger, just so folks can see it really clearly. Nice. There we go. Nice. So yeah, there it is, guys. COLLIN TOVAR. Hit them up on Instagram. I also tagged you on Facebook. Are you on LinkedIn by any chance? Because I know we have some people on LinkedIn.
I am. Yep.
Okay. And obviously under the same name, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys,
UC McGee, that's my name on there.
Yeah, hit them up. Let them know you saw the training so that you can go and get this content calendar and all this other cool stuff that he's got for you. And dude, thank you so much for coming on here. I've got like piles of notes and stuff here, and obviously these spreadsheets and all these docs that you guys are just going to make this way easier. So dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on here.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to meeting you guys. And yeah, take care. Hope your social media explodes.
Let's kick some ass, guys. All right, go ahead, reach out to him, link up with him, get him in your circle, and I'll see you guys in the next training.